Russian peacekeepers won't help.
Azerbaijan's willingness to equally provide humanitarian supplies via Armdam.
EU wants to be nice to Aliyev.
Agreement with Azerbaijan to double gas imports.
There are actually people who like him.
There's interviews to like him.
Me too.
This is how the grocery stores in Artsakh look like these days. Hi, this is ArmComedy, the satiric news show from Armenia. We normally make fun of Armenian politics in Armenian, but there's a dire humanitarian crisis in Artsakh that everyone in the world seems to be ignoring. So let's go ahead and change that. The dictator of Azerbaijan, also known as Supreme Leader Ilham Aliyev, has been holding 120,000 Armenians of Artsakh, also known as Nagorno Karabakh, under a siege, also known as a very shitty thing to do that normal people haven't done since the medieval times. And that's been going on for over 170 days. And the world has made, let me count, precisely 0 efforts to stop that.
We discussed the situation of the Karabakh Armenian population and the situation around the Latchin corridor. The current state of affairs is clearly not sustainable and is in no one's interest. We also discussed possible concrete steps to help bring the situation back to normal. I emphasized the need to open the Latchin road.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some concrete steps were actually made. There was a meeting where they discussed the coffee break and a lunch, and even, wait for it, emphasized the need to open Latchin Road. If you have no idea what Latchin Road is, it's the only road connecting Artsakh to Armenia. And 6 months ago, it was blocked by some of the world's most grotesque eco-activists from Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, Karabakh Azerbaijan.
So after the dove-choking PETA activists wearing a fur coat blocked the road, some food was passing through via Red Cross and the Russian peacekeepers. Not enough, just the bare minimum to survive. The gas and electricity were on and off. But then the yet unrevealed Marvel villain Ilham Aliyev realized that the Russians were just pushovers. They hate the term autonomous region of Nagorno Karabakh. Here's Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov rushing to correct a term that Azeris don't like so much. Do you know why they hate it so much? Because the term itself proves that Nagorno Karabakh has never been part of sovereign Azerbaijan. It was all Grandpa Lenin who decided to give Azeris a chance. No, that's Lenin. He decided to give peace a chance. Lenin, in his turn, he thought that if he mixed up the territories of Soviet states enough, they would all be controllable and less likely to secede, which also proved he wasn't that smart because eventually they all seceded, as did Nagorno Karabakh, even sooner than Azerbaijan. But still, there is one guy who thinks that never happened.
Are you?
Yes, the Armenian authorities have recognized Karabakh is a part of Azerbaijan, and it was done by Vartan Oskanyan when Armenia adopted Madrid principles as a base ground for negotiations. You were expecting Ilham to say something like this, weren't you? Well, welcome to the club. This is Prime Minister of Armenia. In fact, he has a number of interpretations of when Armenia supposedly recognized that Nagorno-Karabakh is a part of Azerbaijan, all contradicting each other both in dates and in content. But all this blame shifting accomplishes nothing because this is how the grocery stores in Artsakh look like these days. Hunger, death, stillborn children, all caused by the dictator of Azerbaijan, who, let's be fair, is not your normal Darth Vader type. There are actually people who like him.
I stole it from the Azerbaijani president. He started it.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you know him?
I don't know him, but I've seen enough of his interviews to like him.
Me too.
Yeah, big surprise, Fredo Corleone likes him. So you'd think that in the modern world of jets and drones and Teslas and Apple glasses, whatever the hell that is, there would be a way to send food to starving 120,000 people under a blockade. So what does the EU guy say?
I also noted Azerbaijan's willingness to equally provide humanitarian supplies via Ardam, and I see both options as important.
Now, Azerbaijan says they don't mind humanitarian aid per se, as long as it comes through their road. If it goes through Latchin road, they are very much against it. Now, this clusterfuck has many layers to it, so let's peel them one by one. First of all, why wouldn't the people of Artsakh accept food? You know, it comes from Azerbaijan, but it's still food, right? And they are starving. Well, maybe this poll done in a popular Azerbaijani Telegram channel might shed some light. In 2025, Russian peacekeepers left the Karabakh region. While walking around in Khankendi, also known as Stepanakert, you encounter an Armenian child who is speaking in Armenian language, which is colloquially referred to as donkey language. What would you do in this situation? 25% said, I will make a comment. 32% said, I will slap him or her. 4% said, I will cut out his or her tongue. 17% of respondents said they would throw him or her into a trunk and then sell them into slavery. And 22% of the voters said they would cut her and feed to the local dogs. So yeah, given the history of recent war, torture, banned munition, actual beheadings in the 21st century, racism that is taught to them since preschool, probably not a very good idea to take fruit from them. You wouldn't take Halloween candy from your local drug dealer, now would you? So why did the president of European Council even make such an offer? Was it pre-agreed with our own government, or did he go way out of his line and, you know, just improvise that? It doesn't matter. We're screwed in both cases. Either our own government agreed to that, which they claim they didn't, or he simply doesn't give a fuck what the Armenians would think. In all of these cases, like I said, we're screwed. So it looks like that the only one who can save us at this point is Superman? Alright, forgot about that. Also, he's not real. Much like the EU, the UN, the Russian peacekeepers, the Secretary of State, and other fictional characters. So, there's no hope? The self-proclaimed First Lady hinted there might be a solution. Tonight, our dinner was made entirely of the vegetables we have grown. Again, one would expect Azerbaijan's First Lady to say something like that. One would assume that the Armenians know that there is no gas, no diesel fuel in Artsakh to farm. Also, farmers are being shot at by the Azerbaijani soldiers from the borders, and they don't all have the luxury of a prime minister's residence to safely grow their crops there. One would assume that. By the way, guess who has gas now?
The European Union signed an agreement with Azerbaijan to double gas imports as Europe searches for non-Russian sources of gas.
Well, that explains why EU and Charles Michel, who by the way is up for re-election soon, don't want to upset Darth Aliyev that much. If also one cared to look, he'd find numerous investigations that prove that this sudden spike of gas production in Azerbaijan, this Baku miracle, and by the way, nobody calls it like that, this Baku miracle has a dirty little secret. Azerbaijan has begun importing gas from Russia under a deal which should enable Baku to meet its own domestic demand, but which raises serious questions over its recent agreement to boost exports to Europe. Let me get this straight. They don't have enough gas to fulfill their domestic needs, so they buy it from Russia. But they have enough gas to warm entire Europe. And European politicians are unable to see through this scheme. Europe, I can put a green label on my Coca-Cola to claim it's organic and good for your health, but it would still be Coca-Cola. Oh, they've been doing that for years? Anyway, food and medication was gathered, put into trucks, and sent from Armenia to Artsakh via Latchin corridor just the other day. Let's see what happened.
Azerbaijan is blocking 360 tons of emergency humanitarian aid from entering Nagorno Karabakh, where officials warn the threat of starvation for 120,000 civilians, including 30,000 children, is imminent. The aid trucks are currently stuck in Kornizor, the final Armenian village before the Latchin corridor.
So this raises the uncomfortable question of what can we actually do? Russian peacekeepers won't help, EU wants to be nice to Aliyev, Biden can't even pronounce Nagorno Karabakh, our own government thinks that the people of Artsakh should talk to Azerbaijan directly. What could possibly go wrong? We must make our voices heard, online and offline. Call your local representative. Call international organizations, so much that their phone lines are red. I know they're fictional, but they still have phone lines. Go block embassies of Azerbaijan around the world. Sign a petition. I know petitions are bullshit, but it only takes a minute. Make Artsakh the world's agenda to the point they cannot ignore it. Artsakh, ձեզ հետ ենք.